and welcome to our course on Exploratory Data Analysis with Power BI. In this class, we are going to study descriptive analysis with the Power BI desktop. To do so, we are going to use the Superstore Sales dataset and the dashboard that we designed in Excel for this dataset. This is the dashboard that we designed in Excel for the Superstore Sales dataset, and we are going to use this same template to design our dashboard in Power BI. Let's recall what we did there. When we look at our dataset, it contains information about the order ID, the order date, the shipment date, the mode of shipment, the segment, the city, state, postal code, region, category, subcategory, product name, and the sale. We prepared a story around our data that involved one KPI about the total sales value, 4 charts, being 2 of them related with the total sales value and the volume of sales by month, a step bar chart presenting the sales by product category and subcategory, and then a map with the volume of sales by state. In addition to that, we proposed 3 slicers to go over the year, the shipment mode, and the segment. And the year we are going to take from the order date. This is the wireframe for the dashboard that we proposed. We created a banner and then our KPI in slicers on the left-hand side of the dashboard. And the major part of the dashboard is composed of the 4 visuals or the 4 graphs. Well, let's jump into the Power BI dashboard design now. The first thing that we have to do here is to get our data, but let's have a quick look here. We have the report view, we have the table view, and then we have the model view. Let's get our data sets first. We are going to use here an Excel workbook. So we are loading the data set. We can choose which sheet we are going to use. And there is a single sheet here in this data set. We are loading it. Okay, this data set is loaded. If we look at the table view, we can visualize our data set and we can navigate through the data set exactly the same way that we do in Excel. But let's make things a bit more fun and let's add another data set. This time, I created a data set with some new columns related with the profit and also the discount. So let's load this as well. So we have the row ID, order ID, quantity, the discount column, and the profit column. Let's load this table as well. Okay, it's loaded. Here in the table view, I can now select which table I want to visualize. Now I'm visualizing the table with the discount and profit. And if I click here, I can visualize the original data set. And if I go to the model view, in the model view, I can observe the 2 tables. Let's expand it here so that I can see all variables or all fields in each of the tables. Okay, this is already showing everything. Well, here, Power BI is showing us that we have a one-to-one connection, and this connection is made through the variable row ID. As you could see, this connection was automatically made by Power BI. We can now start designing our dashboard. We already have the dashboard layout. So the first thing that I am going to do is I am going to put our banner here. I created an image with that banner and now I'm going to load this image. Go to insert image. Let's adjust it to our screen, and this screen represents our report. And the first visual we are going to include is the card with the KPI. So this card will have the information about the total sales, which is spreadsheet 1. So we move it here, total sales. Presentation is too big, so let's change its properties. So callout value, let's reduce. Category label, I think 12 is okay. This is our first card, which is a KPI. The next step is to include the graphs. I prefer to include the graphs first, and then I include the slicers. The first graph that we are going to include is a line chart with the value of sales per month. So let's take the sales is on the y-axis, and the date goes from order date here on the x-axis, and I want it per month, so I'm going to remove day, quarter, and year, and I've got order date per month. And let's change the title to be the same title that we use in our Excel dashboard. Sales by month. The next step is to include the volume of sales by month. I'm going to copy Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, so I copy that graph, that line chart, and I am simply going to change the sum of sales by the count of sales. Now I have the number of sales by month. The next graph that we are going to include is a bar chart with the sales by category and subcategory. So let's take here the bar chart. And again, I want the sales on the y-axis. And I want subcategory and category. Let's change the name as well. So then we have sales by category and subcategory. And finally, let's include our map. So in this map, we'll have the information about the volume of orders per state. We take the state here and put in the location. We'll make it larger, and we want the number of orders as the bubble size. So count of orders as the bubble size. Let's change the title. Number of orders by state. Number of orders by state. Okay. And the last thing that we have to do before we change some patterns and give some effects to our dashboard is to include the slicers. We'll take slicer here. The first slicer is this slicer that refers to the year. Okay, as you can see, it chose one standard slicer type, but we are going to choose a different type of slicer. The first thing is we'll take the date hierarchy. So take the date hierarchy, and we are going to work only with the years. So I am going to remove the date, the month, and the quarter, and keep only the year. As we can see, the blank cells that we have in our table appear here. The way that we can filter it out is coming to the filters, and we choose here filters on this visual. Then we choose items when value is not blank, and we apply the filter, and now we fixed this slicer. And let's do the same. Let's copy this slicer here and replace the year by the shipment mode. So let's take the shipment mode and place it here in the field, and again, let's copy it and replace the year by the segment. Replace the year by the segment. Well, so we already have the main structure of our dashboard, and let's add some effects to make it look nicer. First and main effect that I'm going to add here is to put some shadows. Let's activate the shadow option here. Okay, shadow is there. Let's do the same thing here. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Let's do it for all our visuals in this dashboard. Will require some reorganization. Now that we have organized all our visuals, the last thing that we still have to do is to include the title of this report, which is Superstar Sales Dashboard. Let's test our slicers. As we can see, everything is working fine. We need to change the name of this card. We are going to add a title to this card. And the title is Total Sales. After we finish building our report, the last thing that we have to do is to publish it so that it can be accessed by other people. So we click here in the publish. Here, Power BI is asking if we want to save our changes. So we are going to save our changes. And now we are going to publish. Let's give a name. So let's save. And it's now uploading it. It's going to upload it to my workspace. And that's it. So that's what I had to present to you in this class. Thank you very much for your attention and see you in our next class.